Yo, we in here. Today we are watching a video about 4 red flags you shouldn't ignore in yourself. Now, everybody has red flags. Everybody needs to improve on who they are as a person. And ultimately, I feel like the main thing you should strive towards is following your purpose, learning to love yourself, and elevating your life. These 3 things are always gonna really build everything. That's like groundwork. Now, of course, there's gonna be a 4th thing, but they're gonna get into that video later. If you can find your purpose, now you know what you're gonna do. That eliminates any type of real mental health of being lost in life. You know your purpose. You know what you're here for. Everybody that has the same type of problem is, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I was born. I don't know why I'm doing this, right? You don't know why you're living life. When you find your purpose and you really get into it, you can turn your purpose into passion, where if you're passionate about your purpose, then you're happy while doing it. Me, of course, my purpose is to help y'all, help others, help people elevate their lives and find themselves, start to love themselves. I mean, I have a clothing brand where it's like, follow your dreams. Don't give up on the things you want in life. You can weave your own reality. You can weave your own destiny, right? Don't let everything on the outside affect what's going on the inside. You gotta master your inside to project on the outside. And that goes into the second point. Love yourself. When you love yourself, you start to respect yourself. You start to learn more about yourself, and you figure out ways to grow and do better. When you can do this, it'll eliminate anything when it comes to confidence and fears. You won't be a fearful person if you learn to love and trust yourself, because you got it. You know you got it. That bond you have with yourself is so tight that you know you can handle any situation you're in. You know your flaws, and you know the things that you excel in. So when you can do that, then you're already ahead of 90% of people, because society is so focused on not even taking in self-care. Guys in today's society, only now is it getting normalized, but we thought self-care like face mask or I don't know, pedicures, manicures were gay. And even though we have whatever's going on now, it's like we was too prideful to do those things. People would shun us for trying to take care of ourselves. So when you can learn to love yourself, then you realize all that outside noise is nothing. It don't even matter. And then just stand on that path, man. Get your respect. Keep elevating your life. Grow. When you can elevate your life, other people will follow. You got to know how to chop the grass. Get all the snakes out of the grass. Snakes hide in tall grass. So when you can get those weeds out, start mowing that lawn, you're going to realize who's for you and who's not. And when you can do that, you're going to continue elevating your life. You don't have to worry about fake people around you. You can network and you can get more people. You can put yourself in an environment where you're doing nothing but growing. All you want to do is grow. Your goal at the end of everything is to somehow grow as a person and in yourself to a point where you are just satisfied in every single way. I mean, I'm going to try to be athletic. I'm going to try to be influencer. I'm going to try to be good at music. Like, there's so many things I could do that I'm gonna eventually interpret. Right now I'm focused on my foundation, my building blocks. The deeper and stronger your foundation, the higher your building, or the taller and stronger your tree grows. We can be like trees. If their roots are so put down into the ground, right? Their roots are so grounded and sprout out so much that it won't shake or won't fall. That tree is going to grow to be over 60 feet tall. So let's get into today's video.
Everyone always discusses the red flags in other people, but what about our own red flags?
Look at yourself.
A man can't be on self-improvement if he doesn't look at his own red flags. That's right. Your self-improvement is meaningless garbage if you can't be brutally honest with yourself. I remember how I used to think I didn't need to change. I always had this idea that others had to accept me as I am, and if they...
In order to grow, you're going to be forced to break yourself down and build yourself back up. I say this in almost every other video. When you can do that, that shows that you're willing to look at yourself and understand that you're not perfect. There's still things you can improve on. You could never be a 10 out of 10 if you can still grow. So get your ratings fixed up. What do you think in 2K they don't have 100 overall? They have 99 because your build can't go to 100. Your build caps at 99 because you could always do better. You could always do more. Once you're at 100, there is no more growth. All you can do is stay dormant at the same spot you're at. And then with age, that overall is going to go right back down. So if you want to cap yourself out at 100 that doesn't even exist, you're going to be stuck in a naive state.
They didn't like it. It was their own problem. The crazy thing is that I was a man full of anger and trauma. I was an aggressive man, and I've hurt many people. And yet, I thought I had no red flags. I never self-reflected or stopped to take ownership of my own actions. Until one day, I was left all alone in this world. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I did not like what I had become.
Bo got a villain arc.
I decided to change. I let go of the chains of trauma from the past, and for the first time in my life, I felt free. I felt like I could truly start to improve myself, but it wasn't easy. My past traumas tried to pull me back in, and the childhood version of me did not want to change. The childhood version of me was fierce. He was abused and full of anger.
Is he talking from Kratos's perspective?
That young boy refused to accept that I was going to change as a man.
Okay, yeah,
he tried everything he could to remind me of the pain and suffering in my life. But after a hard internal battle, I was able to change my ways and break through my traumas.
I honestly think in every movie, story, anything, everybody is forced to face their childhood, their past selves on who they was when they was younger because of those traumas. I mean, that's what the flashbacks are for. They reflect back on those past things and then they're forced to face it. They're dragged down to the lowest point. This is when their life was the lowest it could possibly be. And they're forced to face those things. And then when they get out of it, they always seem to improve. They always seem to get stronger and do better.
begun fixing the red flags about myself. That is what real self-improvement is. Listen, one of the reasons why I started this channel is because I feel like I need to repay the world for my actions. I must pay the price for my sins and make up for what I've done. There's a lot more I could say on how to break through traumas, but that's not what this video is about. If you want to know more about overcoming trauma, let me know in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Now, before I tell you what red flags to look out for in yourself, just know this. Your environment, family, trauma, and bad habits are not you. They do not define you. Sure, they can affect you, but they are not you as a person, so don't use them as an excuse for being pathetic. We will go over 4 red flags to look out for in yourself. Number 1, avoidant attachment. Humans are social creatures. We need each other, whether it's a brotherhood of men, a relationship with a woman, or with your family. But people with avoidant attachment styles tend to be emotionally detached and closed off. They appear confident and self-sufficient, but in reality, they lack the crucial ability to form deep connections with other humans. This is where the importance of a mother comes into play. A mother should offer her children the space to express their feelings and emotions, while she provides them with love and nurturing. But if your mother did not give you this, it could cause you to have a lack of empathy for others. One could even feel very uncomfortable in showing care for others. I was one of those people. I did not feel for others, and I was ruthless to everyone. Yes, I was very self-sufficient, but I lacked something powerful as a man. I lacked the ability to feel for others and build deep relationships. Listen.
You want to build those type of bonds where you can express everything to the group, or you can have that, safety net. It's very important to do that, because then when you establish that, it opens you to newer things. That allows you to, quote unquote, network. When you can create bonds with higher value people, or people with the same type of mindset you have, it will ultimately improve not only your life but theirs as well, which will put you on later in the future. If I'm talking to a girl, I get the girl. I'm not talking about just the boys. I'm getting a woman. Now, when I get that woman, so she's in a certain position, she could put me on, where I can get a job, I can get a car for sale, get any type of deal. I can use those things because that's what I've set up. That's what I've created. I'm very cordial to the point where I can talk to anybody I really want to, and it'll strictly, I can change it from business to personal. I can keep it from I can twist it in any way that I really want to.
Many people don't have this problem, but if you grew up in a single mother household, chances are you may recognize yourself in what I've just said. Because single mothers often try to take the role of the father, and because of that, their role as a mother
and I can admit
diminishes.
I've had problems like
No
this,
human can
and I
be a
probably still go
father
through
and a
things
mother
like this
at the
too.
same.
It's just where you put it at. I don't let the fact that things like this could affect me. It can affect me, but it won't control me, right? So I might lack as much empathy for others as I would with the next person, but my efforts is I'm gonna try to make it better. So if a girl felt a certain type of way about something, and I genuinely couldn't understand why she felt that way, or say, I don't know, trying to get to college, she didn't get accepted, right? If she got very emotional about that, even though I would not have as much empathy towards the subject, I would be more accustomed to trying to console her through just my words, or comforting, or anything I could really do.
Time, she will simply be a lesser version of both if she tries. Analyze yourself. If you have trouble attaching to people, the problem may not be the world out there. It may just be you. Number 2, negative self-talk. Any inner dialogue
shit
you
talk
have with
yourself,
yourself
man.
that
Come on
limits your
now.
ability to believe in yourself and your own potential is negative. But this not only keeps you far from your potential, it also increases risk of mental health problems, such as...
Honestly, how you perceive yourself is how you will ultimately be perceived from everybody else's perspective. When it comes to being him or being that guy, you not only have to, one, believe you're that guy. You got to set that image. You got to set the tone. You got to know what you are going for. But then after you believe that, you have to literally be it. You have to put yourself in a position that's going to make you become what you want to be. The real thing will always be stronger than a hologram. If I got a building, right? If there's a, 30-foot building, I'm not even going to try anything. Say a skyscraper, right? If I'm showing a skyscraper in the middle of New York, that's always going to be strong and built up rather than a little hologram of the exact same skyscraper. I can put my hand through the hologram and the whole thing will get messed up. But the skyscraper, you touch that wall, you're not doing nothing to it. Matter of fact, you're hurting yourself more than you hurting that skyscraper, because that skyscraper is the real thing. But it had to start out as a blueprint. And that's the point I'm getting at right there. It starts out as the hologram. It starts out as the blueprint. But then when it's built, then it's the real thing. There's nothing stopping that. It's there. It's real. It's not imaginary. You can't shake it because it was built to be that way.
Lack of motivation and depression. But what's more, it damages the people around you because your negativity will rub off on those around you. So if you are guilty of putting yourself down with self-deprecating thoughts and jokes, it's not only self-destructive to yourself, but it's also extremely selfish as it hurts your inner circle. One way to fix this is to practice mindfulness. Number 3, big ego. When you're improving your life, it's easy to get an oversized ego, especially when you take into account that most people are lazy. It makes you feel superior to them, but this is dangerous because it will cause you to underestimate others. There is a quote that goes, "Do not scorn a weak cub. He may become a brutal tiger one day." Meaning, you don't mock those that seem beneath your level, as they may just become powerful enough one day to take you out. Instead, it's better to show respect, no matter how far ahead you...
Honestly, respect is the biggest thing for me. I mean, I'ma mutually respect anybody I'm around, whether you're any type of race, you're any gender. I don't care what you are, who you are, and where you are. I will always start out in a respectful first foot. I will give my respect before I start looking down on you or I start disrespecting your character or who you are, because I would want that same exact energy towards me. I'm not talking to somebody that I can't respect. Now, if I can't respect you, I'm still not gonna talk to you disrespectfully. I'm gonna just remove myself from being in your presence. You won't see me as often. You won't hear me talk as much. Because when I lose that, then it's because of something you're doing with yourself. You're pitying yourself. I would never have the ego of somebody that's just always, oh, I'm better than you because of this or anything. You could play basketball against a bunch of little kids, and they could be 5 years older than you, and they could be 10 years older than you, and they could be 20 years older than you, and they could be 30 years older than you, and they could be 40 years older than you, and they could be 50 years older than you, and they could be 60 years older than you, and they could be 70 years older than you, and they could be 80 years older than you, and they could be 90 years older than you, and they could be 100 years older than you, and they could be 200 years older than you, and they could be 300 years older than you, and they could be 400 years older than you, and they could be 500 years older than you, and they could be 1,000 years older than you, and they could be 10,000 years older than you, and they could be 1,000 years older than you, and they could be 1,000 years older than you, and they could be 1,000 years older than you, and they could be 1,000 years older and they could still beat you off of soul, like, will. They could still, like, once they learn their little teamwork or whatever, say it's like a 1v3 or a 1v5, they could still beat you. And all you have to do is respect that. You can't. There's no point in disrespecting that.
War. Listen, we all have an ego, and there is a
Don't
time and a place where
underestimate
you
people
actually need
just
a
because they
strong
look weak.
ego. But most of the time, you need to keep your ego away. Humble yourself and know that there are many people that outperform you every single day.
Exactly.
Number 4, perfectionism. Perfectionism is pathetic.
There's
You heard
nothing that is
right. It is an excuse for not
perfect in this
taking
world.
risks. You see, things will never be perfect. And when you chase perfection, you are chasing a goal with no end. Picture a man that has to set sail to new land. But before he does, he decides to clean his ship until it's perfectly clean. It takes him days, weeks, months. The ship will never be perfectly clean. There is always some new dust somewhere.
Exactly.
This man is a coward, afraid to set sail and to take new risks, so he hides it.
Embrace your insecurities and use those and turn it into strengths. Make your player build so strong that even though you're not perfect, you can come off as someone that is in a light of that same development. I know there's always going to be something to work for and work towards. You will never be a 10 out of 10. You will never be a 100 overall. But that 99, you're going to make most of your shots. You're going to get most of those ankle breakers. You're going to have max ball control or ball handling. But that doesn't mean you're always going to be that. You're not going to always hit everything you do. Even you could be the world's ranked top 100 or most beautiful person, most handsome guy, and I can guarantee you still wouldn't bag every last single girl that you go at.
In the name of perfectionism. On top of that, perfectionists often put unrealistic pressure on their friends to meet their high standards. As a result, perfectionism can sometimes be a barrier to having fulfilling and satisfying personal relationships. There is very little upside to perfectionism. It is counterproductive for productivity. It ruins relationships. It stops you from taking risks, and it leaves you unhappy because you're never satisfied. And yet, people will proudly call themselves a perfectionist. If this is you, you must recognize that it's a red flag and not something to brag about.
Exactly.
By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button.
Yep. That's gonna do it with their video. I hope y'all can identify these red flags in yourselves and really understand that, one, you're not perfect. You have to learn to grow and face yourself. Learn to love yourself. Find your purpose. Create a path that you want to go to. Think about a goal or a weight goal. You know where you want to be. All you gotta do is put the work in. Even though you want to magnetize things, it doesn't mean you can be lazy. It doesn't mean you can be complacent. People see comfortability as complacency because when you get comfortable, you don't do the things you used to do. But if you are so deeply rooted in who you was since the jump, and you was straightforward, being honest, there's nothing to be complacent about unless you're complacent about yourself. Like, I'm gonna be the same person I was when I first met you unless I've elevated. Unless I've grown as a person while after meeting you, I will be the exact same person. I will not be any worse, because that's how I was, and that's who I was since the jump. There's nothing to be complacent about. I'm not taking somebody on a bunch of dates when I can't afford it. That's not good money management. When in the beginning you'll hear, oh, you used to buy me flowers, you used to take me on dates. Unless I was a charming person that was willing to do that every single month or consistently like that, that's just not me. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'll see y'all next time. We is out.